Hello.
Hello friends and welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, our focus will be on food chain. We are going to describe how organisms in an ecosystem depend on each other and their environment. We'll also talk about what happens in a food chain, classifying members of a food chain as producers and consumers. We'll also take a look at examples of members of the food chain. Food chain cycles energy and nutrients through an ecosystem, from one organism to another and back to the soil. A food chain can be shown as a food cycle or like a pyramid with trophic levels. Food chains have different trophic levels. Now let's see these levels arranged in a pyramid. We have 4 stages, or what we call trophic levels. These levels show how food goes through an ecosystem. Let's look at the different trophic levels of a food chain. The producers. All food chains begin with living things that produce their own food. On land, green plants are the main producers. Plants are the only living things that make their own food. They depend on the sun. The sun's energy enters the plant's leaf. With the help of the sun's energy, plants change water and carbon dioxide into food. This is called photosynthesis. Producers include plants like trees, grasses, and also some animals like algae and moss. All animals depend on plants to live. Even if they do not eat plants themselves, producers or plants at the bottom of every food chain perform a very important job in our ecosystem. They take in water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide, but they also give back oxygen into the air. Oxygen is a gas essential for all organisms to live. They are producers, or we can say plants, in every ecosystem. Without them, there would be no life on Earth. The next level is the consumer level. Animals cannot make their own food. Even though animals and humans receive some energy directly from the sun, they also must consume or eat food to get the energy and nutrients they need to survive. Sometimes this trophic level is broken down into more than one level or feeding step because there are several types of consumers or eaters. Some consumers eat only plants, some eat only animals, and the others eat both plants and animals. These 3 types of consumers have specific names. The first type of consumers are animals who consume only plants, or we can call them plant eaters or herbivores. Herbivores may be as small as squirrels or as large as elephants. Can you name some other herbivores? Consumers who only eat plants are called herbivores. We have examples like fishes, some small fishes, chicken, cows, elephants, and the list goes on. Omnivores are the second types of consumers. They eat both producers, which are plants, and animals. Rats, raccoons, pigs are all omnivores. Humans are omnivores. We eat both plants and animals. So if you eat both plants and animals, you are an omnivore. Third type of consumers belong to the group called the carnivores. Carnivorous animals are primarily meat eaters. Carnivores usually do not eat plants, which are the producers, but instead they eat other consumers. Examples of carnivorous animals are lions, tigers, sharks, etc. Herbivores, omnivores, and carnivorous animals are all consumers because they do not produce their own food. They rely on plants and other animals as sources of food. We've come to the end of this lesson, and in our next lesson, we'll get to look at decomposers. We'll get to identify them in our environment. We'll also take a look at what they do to help move food nutrients back to the soil. I would love you to try out these activities, identify the animals, and write out what trophic levels they are in. See you in my next class. Bye.